welcome to the next episode of Gilded Shadows. So we left off meeting some of Vaughn's friends. I can't I can't remember their names, but yeah, we're gonna pick up from there. Sorry, it's a little early. Okay, not all bishops specialize in telekinesis like you. I know. That's why I trounced you in our match last week. Trounce? I don't think I've ever heard that before. Hey, pitting me against a member of the guard was not fair. Again, your problem. Anyway, Morgan, let's get out of here. If these two are here, there's a whole flock of little baby agents about to descend on this place. And unless you want to deal with 50 of them gushing over you, I definitely do not want to deal with a flock of baby agents. It was nice to meet you, Casey, Birdie. You too. If you ever need anything, you can always ask. We'd be happy to help. One thing you can help with is the rumor about Morgan blowing up a city block. There's already enough buzz going around because we found a queen rank. Let's not let things get out of hand. Birdie laughed and rubbed the back of her neck awkwardly. Will do, sorry about that. Another group of very young and fresh-faced agents came in right as Van and I were leaving. Van Vaughn. She positioned herself between me and them on our way out, and while none of them spoke to us, I could hear the whispers. After that, Vaughn took me to several other places. The training rooms, the gardens, the lobby, and so on. Everywhere we went, people stared. A few approached to say hi. There were quite a few introductions. All names and faces I instantly forgot. She sounds like me. I'm so horrible with remembering names. Faces, I mean, not so much, but names, yeah. I was pretty tired by the time I got back to my room. Almost as soon as I was in the door, I received a net notification. It was a schedule for the upcoming week, mostly medical exams, but there was something scheduled 3 days from now which caught my eye. My first training session. The room and time were listed, as well as the name of the person Magnus chose as my teacher, Ari Vaughn. I have no idea how this is going to go. Although, I didn't talk about this in my last episode, I am interested to see, because they said Ari was an F rank Esper, which means that he developed his Esper abilities through a natural mutation. So I am interested to talk to him about that. Hopefully we'll be able to. I flopped on my sofa and let out a soft groan. Fairy queen, huh? And Ari was a fairy knight. The perfect combination. I shut my eyes, and by the time I had started dozing off, my door chimed. I bolted upright groggily, calling for whoever it was to enter before I was fully awake. It didn't occur to me until the door opened and Ari stepped inside that I'd left most of my clothes strewn on the floor when I'd come in from the tour earlier. Okay, she sounds like me when I'm not expecting visitors. I'm not gonna lie. I was still half sprawled on the sofa, hair a mess, the very picture of a responsible and capable adult. It took several seconds for us staring at each other before I processed who it even was. They have so many awkward moments. He came further into the apartment, his gaze landing on the pile of clothes on the floor in front of him. After a space, he bent to pick them up. He's cleaning up after us. Sorry, I was exhausted when I got back with Vaughn earlier. You don't have to clean those up. I apologize for waking you. Perhaps I should have sent a message instead. I think he might feel a little awkward too. I bit back a yawn. No, it's fine. I shouldn't be sleeping during the day anyway. It'll throw off my sleeping schedule. Perhaps, but you're still recovering? Rest is important. Ari draped my shirt over his arm and set my boots off to the side before bringing the clothes to the sofa. I somehow wasn't surprised he was a neat freak. He He had that feel to him, you know. Like he'd casually straighten up someone else's apartment just because he was there. He totally does, though. I'm not gonna lie. He laid the clothes on the arm of the sofa. I wanted to inform you, Magnus has asked me to oversee your training for the time being. All business as usual. I got the schedule update. We'll be starting in 3 days, right? Correct. Bishop's skills are a little more difficult to master and are more taxing on the mind. Magnus likely wants someone who can help you with skills he believes will be easier for you to learn. Though biokinesis is easiest for most people, you've already demonstrated the ability to mimic my skills. That's right, because she did teleport when they were having the big fight back in the building. Biokinesis is a form of telekinesis that involves manipulating organic matter on a macro and micro level. The resulting effect is that biokinetics can enhance their physical bodies in a variety of ways, including the way they process sensory input, to the effect of enhancing sensory perception, enhancing physical capabilities, or even their cellular regeneration. Most biokinetics are capable of using this ability on their own bodies, but are unable to safely apply the same principle to others. And often they do not have the same level of precise control of telekinesis of non-organic materials. This is because the manipulation of their own biology comes quite naturally, and most biokinetics use their ability with only a broad understanding of what they're doing without really understanding the microbiology involved in something like regenerating skin cells to heal a cut. Okay, so does that mean they can't heal and do things like that then? Unless it's on themselves? It could show an aptitude for night-based skills. Since you don't get on with Caleb, focusing in this area might be a good starting point. Oops. Oh, not because of the fairy thing. Then again, Magnus had told me to keep it to myself. Maybe Ari didn't know. I really hope that's not the case, and we're gonna have to be the one to break the news to him. I mean, I don't know how he'd take it, if it would matter to him, but still. Or know that I knew about him. I decided not to say anything about it for now, just in case. I understand. We most likely won't be focusing on psi abilities yet, as I doubt Dr. Sasaki will clear you for it by the time we begin. But every one of us does physical training and meditation as part of our regimen. That's interesting that they do meditation. We'll be starting there for you as well. Those activities won't tax your mind. In fact, the meditation techniques I'll teach you are likely to help you recover faster. My goal for your physical training, at least for the time being, will be centered on self-defense. Even as telekinetics, it's important to learn to protect ourselves without the use of our abilities. As we do sometimes encounter opponents who make use of psi inhibitors, we can't always rely on psi abilities to get us out of dangerous situations. I see. That makes sense. I guess I'll see you then. Did Vaughn make dinner plans with you tonight? No, we didn't discuss it before she left. Are you feeling up to a dinner in the lounge? I don't know. It's been a long day. I'll bring something to you and you can eat it in the privacy of your flat. I'm sure it will be more comfortable. Thank you. You don't have to go out of your way, though. Magnus had suggested we do that when we can to facilitate your adjustment. Do you see how he's looking off to the side here, like he's uncomfortable? Though I think it would eventually be best for you to spend time among other agents, I understand it's currently difficult for you to do so. Sorry guys, my eyes are watering. I have no clue why. That was great. Anyway. It's just orders, I should have known. It makes more sense to help ensure your comfort as you recover and familiarize yourself with the building. I understand, thank you. He nodded and let himself out without asking how I was doing or how the tour was. As far as interactions with Ari went, it could have been worse. I flopped backwards again. Today felt like it had been the start of a new journey. I didn't know if it would be a bad one or a good one, but all I could do was hope for the best. Okay, We're on to chapter 4 now. Falling down, getting up. Sounds like it's going to be a little rough. I'm assuming that's related to our training, hopefully, but we'll see. Oh, and look, we have our hair pulled back and everything. We're definitely in training. We have our official endgame outfit on too. And in the next few weeks, I want to take you around Brazil, show you some of the best places to eat or spend time. They're actually going to let me out of the compound. I mean, we seriously sound like a prisoner here. Like, we do. And oh no. Oh, okay. Sorry. I was checking something on the recording and I thought it wasn't working, but it's fine. Anyway, yeah, we sound like a legitimate prisoner. We still sound like we're in that like kidnapped mentality, which I mean, technically they did cut off. They told us we can't leave, we can't talk to our family, and from what I understand, she still doesn't have the ability to connect to the net outside of anything within Endgame, which is really concerning to me. You're not a prisoner, Morgan. I keep telling you that. I mean, they'll want you to have an escort when you go out, but just so you're aware, Magnus never leaves without an escort either. See, that's what I'm saying. Like when in the last episode when I was like, I feel like he's not here willingly. I mean, and the way he was talking too. I can't help but think going everywhere with a chaperone sounds like so much fun. If I'm your escort, it will be the most fun you've ever had. Thank you very much. Oh, okay, we have a new background in the training room. When we reached the training room, Vaughn was escorting me to my first training session with Ari. There was a small crowd gathered around. Okay, I'm a huge fan of The Matrix. Like, I'm a huge Matrix nerd. And I'm getting flashbacks to the first time that Neo went into, like, plugged into the system. And he had his, like, training with Morpheus. Yeah, anyway. A few were near the door, but most were along the walls watching the sparring match going on in the center of the room. I can't believe Caleb talked Ari into this before his session with you. How early did those two get here? What makes you think Caleb instigated this? I trailed off when she looked at me. Oh, okay. Point taken. But the two of them sparring like that. We get another CG! Caleb was no surprise, but I didn't expect Ari to be that fit. Embassy! My eyes followed his movements as Ari blocked a kick. It was easy to see why they gathered an audience. Okay, let's take a moment to appreciate. I love Caleb's tattoo. It reminds me a little bit of Danny's tattoo in Changing. They both have like that upper sleeve tattoo. And it's like just black. Sorry. I wasn't ready for this line. Watching two sweaty, attractive guys practice isn't all that bad, I guess. So, like I mentioned yesterday, this is where a lot of us who have named ranks do our training. Uh-huh. I think she's distracted. I didn't know much about this sort of thing, but there appeared to be several styles of fighting going on at once. Prior to joining the safety department, who's Wayne? Wayne had studied martial arts as well. I had watched him spar with his classmates before. They did a lot of bouncing at each other without ever throwing a punch or kick. Caleb and I were not like that. It was intense for a sparring match, and if they were pulling the punches, it didn't seem to be very much. This is like the first time that, because we had one other CG with him, and that was back in the street, right? When she broke all the glass. Caleb seemed to have the upper hand, though. Oh, really? I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little surprised, because I thought Caleb was lower ranked than Ari. I caught snatches of conversation around me and wasn't surprised that most of those watching were rooting for Ari. I have to say, I'm not too surprised either. Poor Caleb. I don't feel too bad for him. Vaughn leaned in closer. Most here are upper level infantry and ranked junior agents. Lower level infantry are all housed in a different location. Same for non agents like researchers and such. Oh, Ari almost got him there. He managed to hook his foot around Caleb's leg and nearly sweep him onto his back. But Caleb twisted away and responded with a solid kick that Ari only just blocked. The training rooms up here are also better reinforced, so it makes sense that those with stronger abilities come up here. I think it sounds like they're worried we might take down the building again. So which one do you think is better looking? Vaughn. Uh-huh. Vaughn's laugh was loud enough to draw several looks as I whipped my head around and glared at her. Well, you're watching them pretty closely. I didn't think you were even listening. She just called us out. I was listening. Sort of. I was just thinking it's a bit intimidating. They don't seem to be going easy on each other. They never do. Oh? I winced as Caleb somehow got his arm around Ari's waist, and in one smooth twist and throw, they were both on the ground. Ari hit first, though, and while Caleb jumped back to his feet, Ari laid there for a moment, winded. Ouch. Well, that's usually how it goes. Physical combat is Caleb's specialty after all. As Ari rolled over and got back to his feet, the people watching from the side swarmed the mat. Some congratulated Caleb while others helped Ari to his feet. You never answered my question. Oh my god. Okay, so Vaughn is like that annoying friend that you have where, like, it's completely, totally understandable to have these discussions, right? But there's a time and a place for everything, and I don't think this is the time or the place. The one that doesn't usually have a look on his face like he wants to murder me. Oh wait, sorry. You never answered my question. Which one's better looking? The one that doesn't usually have a look on his face like he wants to murder me in my sleep. Any guesses who that is? In any case, they both seem to have a lot of fans. Well, the guard is made up of the elite of elites, so people look up to us. I guess there is a little celebrity that comes with the job. I'm sure you'll get a little fan club going. Birdie looked ready to polish your shoes if you asked. That's your friend you're talking about, Vaughn. Like, no, thank you. I swear, you are no fun at all. She sounds a little like Magnus here, you know? I wasn't sure how I felt about the thought of a fan club. It's just weird. When I looked back to Ari, I realized Vaughn and I had been spotted. Our eyes met, and he squeezed his way out of the group of people, assuring him his sparring was amazing. Oh, that's right, because Caleb just kicked his butt. It's okay, Ari. Don't let it hurt your pride. That alerted everyone else we were there, and a little murmur ran through the room. Caleb looked our way, then proceeded to ignore us. Not that I was surprised by that. Ari joined us by the door, rotating one shoulder slightly, the one that had taken the brunt of his fall when Caleb threw him. Okay, we can either say that was a good match with Caleb, I mean, or is your shoulder all right? I'm not sure that I completely understand the context for the top option. Because what else would she be referring to, right? I don't think I completely understand that. Unless I missed something because I was distracted. Yeah, I don't think I completely understand the context for this top one. So we'll just ask if his shoulder's all right. Oh, this is the affectionate option? Interesting. Because affectionate isn't actually a like personality trait that you choose in the beginning. Is your shoulder alright? Sparring always results in bumps and bruises. I will recover quickly. As you are aware, we all have bioenhancements that accelerate our healing. Thanks, Ari. Thanks. That's not what I was asking. He gave me a confused look, lifting one eyebrow. See, this is what I mean when I say, like, I literally think that he just doesn't understand sometimes. I wasn't asking if your shoulder was going to be okay. I was asking if it was okay right now. It isn't serious. Are you in pain, Ari? That's what she wants to know. Thank you, Vaughn. Okay, apparently she's going to be like our translator. Ah, my shoulder is a little sore, but it's not a cause of concern. It looked like a pretty bad throw. Caleb is not gentle in sparring. Look at his expression. Remind me to never spar with Caleb. That would be wise for the time being. Or for forever. There will come a time when you'll be able to best him in a sparring match if you're both using your abilities. Oh, because we're queen rank, right? That I hadn't considered this a possibility. I have to admit that sounds very tempting. Vanessa snickered. Glad you found some motivation. I'm also glad that motivation is kicking Caleb's ass. It has a nice sort of poetic justice to it. Yeah, considering how he's been treating us. So, oh no. Because, right, the rumors have been going around about us taking down the whole street block. So that's really her. The question wasn't directed at us, but they said it loud enough we all heard it. I instinctively turned my head towards a nearby group looking our way. Seriously? She looks a little... We're getting roasted! There was a small titter of laughter in response to something said low enough I couldn't hear. So there were these kinds of people here as well. If you're curious, why don't you ask instead of standing off to the side whispering to yourselves like little kids? He has his hair up too, I have to say. Yeah. The group went dead quiet at the call out. Caleb hardly spared a glance as he stared out of the training room with a towel tossed over his shoulder. And I don't know who you brats think she looks like, but you should know looks have nothing to do with ability. I'm surprised he's the one standing up for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, this entire route, he's been, a little critical. You know, kind of really dismissive of us, and the fact that he's the one sort of saying something is interesting. Although it might just be because, you know, he's an equal opportunist. From what I've seen, most of you won't want to go against her when she gets even a bit of training. Did he just defend me? Caleb is right. If you're curious, you kids can just ask, you know. One girl at the front of the group looked me up and down again, then folded her arms over her chest. So you're the new queen, right? I wasn't confident claiming the title, but somehow, with her staring at me like that, I lifted my chin slightly. Yes, I am. Heidi is an upper-level infantry. She graduated and joined the newest group of junior agents recently. One of the top in her class, despite not having a named rank. Okay, well, I mean, this isn't high school, you know? Like, I'll get myself promoted to named rank soon enough. Is that possible? To go from infantry to a named rank? You don't even know that much. We just walked in the door. Like, this is our first day of actual training. Calm down, girl. Unlike the rest of you, Morgan hasn't been privy to the inner workings of Endgame long enough to know the details of how her ranks work. Oh, right, of course. It's easy to forget she's new despite her age. This girl just called us old. Hey, don't say it like I'm old or something. She did. She just did. Those are fighting words. Upper-level infantry can raise their skills high enough to get promoted to a named rank. It just takes some time, or some hard work. This girl. The to raise the level of one's psi energy and obtain a named rank. In most cases, only upper-level infantry are capable of promotion. It requires intense training and, for most people, a psi expansion for their nano system. Few people are able to achieve promotion without a psi expansion, but these expansions are not legal and many people in the public aren't even aware it's possible. Psi expansions are sometimes used by endgame to raise the level of particularly talented infantry, but there is a lengthy and arduous training process one must go through to qualify. Since psi levels can be raised naturally through training, any infantry that wants an expansion must demonstrate an ability to naturally raise their psi to necessary requirements to prove their capability to obtain promotion with the extra help of their nanosystems. Okay. She casts a sidelong look Ari's way. And sometimes special training. Training isn't always enough for someone to raise their scores high enough to become eligible for a psi expansion. You never know until you try. Oops. Sorry. Perhaps. If you'll excuse me, Morgan and I have a training session scheduled. Morgan? Look at her expression. He motioned me towards the other side of the room. Coming. I shot an awkward smile at the junior agents clustered nearby. There was definitely a hidden message to that exchange, wasn't there? Was it so hidden, though? Was it really? Because I don't feel like it was that subtle. Heidi stared after Ari, but looked back at me before staring out of there. Does she have a crush on Ari? Is that what's going on? Is that why she, just immediately, we're immediately on her shit list? Because she likes Ari? I mean, because, technically nothing has happened. Nothing has happened between the two of them yet, so. when I get promoted to Queen rank, I look forward to having a few matches with you. I heard about that cyburst of yours. I can't wait to see it myself. This girl seems a little, delusional. Because not only is she not ranked at all, but she's talking about being promoted to Queen rank, which is, from what I understand, very, very, very rare. The rest of the junior agents filed out of the room after Heidi. I thought Birdie intended to do something about those rumors. Why do I feel like I might be stepping on some toes by being here? Don't worry about it, Morgan. There's no guarantee she's even capable of achieving Queen rank. Do you know how hard that is? So, you see, that's what I'm saying. No, I don't. I don't know anything about any of this. Fair enough. For the record, it's incredibly difficult. Very few infantry have the flexibility to get promoted at all. It's not like they just sign up for a psi expansion and hope for the best. They have to focus on raising very specific aspects of their psi ability to certain levels. For someone aiming at rook or knight or bishop, it's one thing. For something like queen, where they have to master all those areas, I think she's years away from it, if it's even possible. A psi expansion. So basically a nano expansion that targets an increase to psi ability. I didn't know that was possible. As you can imagine, we don't broadcast that. It is. Not that it stops illegal attempts anyway. Yeah, but from what I remember, it's really dangerous to do that. Even through endgame, through the legal means. Okay, there we go. It's quite dangerous. It's not like expansions that reinforce body systems like a bioexpansion or your neural enhancements. I guess if it was easy, they'd be creating espers in a lab somewhere. The fact that she said that is making me think back to that little blurb that we read about, Dr. Sasaki. Or you. Most likely, but if you try to give one of these expansions to a normal person, you'd probably kill them. So don't feel bad about being here. Queen promotion isn't easy to achieve. It's not something you just do because you want to. Then why does she want to do it if it's so dangerous? Why does anyone want to get a promotion in their job? The pay is better, privileges are better, you get more respect, more attention. It doesn't seem worth it to me. This is a big organization, Morgan, and most of the espers in it are infantry. They all want to stand out. I mean, look at Caleb and Ari. They were just blowing off steam and gathered an audience to watch. Yeah, but I don't know, for me personally, I mean, granted, that sort of stuff makes me really uncomfortable. It would make me very nervous. You know what if I couldn't go anywhere without always sort of having someone analyze me like that. I don't know. People like the attention and the clout. Promotion is one way they can get those things. It made sense that there was that kind of thing going on as well, but somehow I hadn't expected it. Endgame had always seemed, well, above it all. I wouldn't be so sure, girly. Is everything alright? It's almost time for us to begin. Sorry, coming. Thanks for walking me down here, Vaughn. I appreciate it. Don't worry about it. I'll catch up with you later. Have a good session. I couldn't help the flicker of apprehension as I joined Arya on the other side of the room. I still wished they had chosen Vanessa to work with me. Her jokes and teases always set me at ease. With Arya, I could never tell what he was thinking. Me neither. Don't feel bad, Morgan. We won't be doing anything strenuous today. There's no need to look so anxious. Is it that obvious? You tend to express your feelings rather openly on your face. You just... Thank you for that, Ari. Doesn't everyone? It's kind of the point of them, isn't it? I love, like, the irony of the fact that she's asking Ari that, of all people. I don't think he would know, Morgan. Just gonna put it out there. It didn't take anything more than the raised eyebrow for me to get the point. He didn't tend to relay much via facial expression anyway. Well, I'm glad to know I'm an open book. It does make interacting with you a little easier. Not sure how I feel about that. He positioned himself across from me, but within arm's reach. For today, I want to demonstrate the proper way to warm up for a physical workout. I'd also like to observe your strength level and stamina so I can create a proper training regimen for you. And maybe begin the very basics of self-defense. At the end, I'll show you some meditative techniques I'd like you to work on in your spare time. I do already know some self-defense techniques, just for the record. Is that so? One of my brothers is a public service officer. Since I was the only girl, they were all a bit protective. He and my dad taught me a few things. We used to go jogging together before he moved out, too, but that was a few years ago. That's good to know. I'm glad there is a foundation to start from, but we'll follow my plan for today so I can see exactly where you are. I understand. Now, for warm-up, we start with stretches and follow with some light cardiovascular exercise. He placed his right hand on the back of his opposite arm, lifting them both over his head and twisting his body slightly. Give me 1 second, I'm just going to check the time here. Okay. We're still doing okay with time. From his slight nod, I gathered he wanted me to mirror his movements. Warming up is necessary to avoid injury. We'll spend the first 15 minutes doing stretches every day. Just follow my movements. The stretching part was fine. I wasn't terribly flexible or anything, but he wasn't expecting me to be a contortionist. It was when we moved into the light cardiovascular exercise that I realized I had gotten a little out of shape in the last year or so. We've all been there, Morgan. Do not feel bad. The fact Ari was observing me made me extra self-conscious. Fortunately, his warm-up only lasted about half an hour. He seemed mostly pleased with my performance, but noted my stamina is a little low. I hope you realize I'm a student. I did spend a lot of time studying, not fighting off mafia people. It wasn't a criticism, merely an observation. We'll focus efforts on improving that as we go forward. This is a highly physical job much of the time. In addition, increasing your physical stamina will also increase your ability to use side without the danger of side fatigue. That's interesting. So that means like your body, as far as, your stamina affects the psi fatigue, even though you're not actually using anything but your brain when you do that. Stamina training. Fun. For now, we'll be moving on to something else. Meditation will be a part of our cool down at the end of the session. But for now, I want to teach you one of the most important principles of handling yourself in a physical confrontation. And I want to practice this every session going forward. You can consider it the foundation for all of our self-defense training. And that is falling. Okay. Falling, blocking, balance stance, or anything else would have made more sense. More precisely, I want to show you how to fall safely. That's so weird. He took a few steps back from me. Let's just take a moment to admire this. Like, he looks so pretty. I'm trying to... At first I thought these were scars, but I think they're just the, like his muscles. In any confrontation, there is a risk of falling. Being thrown, being knocked down is unavoidable. As such, it's important that you be able to fall without injury, or injuring yourself. If you fall with the right amount of grace, you can get up and continue falling to fight. Does it make more sense just to try not to fall? Sounds like a metaphor for life. Perhaps it is. My mentor once said learning to fall means learning to view the situation objectively, thus gaining insight from each failure. I wonder who his mentor is. For some reason, I didn't expect him to have a mentor. I don't know why. This allows you to accept what happened, get up, and continue on. If you fall poorly, you could end up hurt. Worse, you'll lie where you are and lose your fight. Still sounds like a metaphor. Stay where you are and wallow in pain and loss, or fall gracefully so you can get up and keep going. There are many martial arts principles that can apply to life as a whole, but this one seems particularly relevant, almost like you're telling me it's time to move forward. Falling safely is a principal part of self-defense, but it would be inaccurate to say I didn't feel this lesson would have an additional benefit for you given your circumstances, though I wouldn't characterize your behavior as wallowing either. A small smile crossed my face. His way of handling it was a little clumsy, but I could appreciate the sentiment. Would you expect anything less from dear Ari, though? Like, honestly? I mean, he's trying, which is huge for him. Just a quick point here. The first time they, when she sort of had a moment, I think they were in the lounge, and she started crying, and I don't think he did anything, or he said something really, like, not cold, but, like, he didn't try to comfort her. Thank you. I don't believe I've done anything worthy of thanks. We haven't even started. I just laughed at his confusion. He really was dense, as Vaughn had said. Okay, yeah, so MC's picking up on it too. I know, but thank you anyway. You're welcome. Shall we continue? Yes. The first thing to remember is that when something falls, the more area of impact it has, the less damage it receives. For us, that means our back is the largest and safest area to direct a fall. Sounds simple enough. I'll do a quick demonstration of the first technique we will learn. He continued to speak as he showed me a very precise fall. It looks more like rolling onto his back from crouching, then slapping the mat with both hands. What I'm imagining in my head is just... Anyway, he jumped back to his feet. It'll be tempting to catch yourself on your hands, but the sudden impact to your arm can cause severe injury to the wrist and shoulder. We have enhanced regeneration, but the middle of a confrontation is not where you want to be nursing an injured wrist or shoulder. He settled beside me, almost cradling my body against his as he gently pushed the back of my head to make me look down. Tuck your chin to your chest. Oh, you know what? I think I remember something like this. Like learning something like this. Tuck your your chin to your chest so you don't slam your head down on the ground as you fall. These techniques are meant to protect you, so there's no point if they do more harm than good due to improper methodology. I was trying to focus on his words, but the sensation of his fingers against the back of my neck sent a little shiver through me. Calm down, Morgan. Good grief. He's teaching you a weird falling method, not trying to seduce you. Well, it's okay, Morgan. I'm going to give you some grace here, because she did have sort of a thing for him ever since she first ran into him on the street. I mean, she was much more open with her interests then, but yeah. The first time you do it, I'll be here to ensure you fall gently as you get the feel of the motion, or feel for the motion. And don't simply drop this height. And don't simply drop from this height. We want you to bend your legs and drop from a lower height. I think I understand. Thankfully, he moved away, keeping one hand on my shoulder. Now, do it as I showed you. I'm right here to catch you if it looks like you need to, or it looks like you need it. I'm supposed to be falling. Catching me sounds counterproductive, perhaps, but it's easier to fall when you know there's someone to help you get back up, isn't it? Is this another metaphor for life? Because I suppose it is. My first fall attempt was a little awkward, and so was the second. This is reminding me, did any of you guys go to summer camp and do like those trust falls? Where you have like one person standing on a beam or something, and then you have the rest of the group that's supposed to catch them. I remember that, and I remember that the group that I was with, we were supposed to catch this girl, and we didn't. We tried. It wasn't like everybody stepped back, but yeah. I felt silly doing nothing but falling over and over, especially under Ari's watchful instruction. But he was only ever helpful, showing me things like how to stand back up without letting my hands touch the mat, or the proper position for my legs at the end of my fall. After he decided I'd gotten the hang of falling on my back, he showed me another technique that involved falling more on my side. That one was much trickier, and I still felt awkward with it, even when he decided to move on. By the time we stopped, I was sweating, despite that we weren't doing anything that hard. Stamina girl. We took a quick break after a little over half an hour. Ari had thought ahead and had 2 flasks of water waiting for us on the side. Let me check our time real quick. Okay, yeah. Oh wow. Oh my gosh, this is much longer than I meant for it to be. But we are going to go ahead and end things here. So, yeah. We're making a little bit of progress. The fact that Ari's even trying to, communicate a message about life and the lessons that we need, I feel like that's major progress. But also that girl. Like, I have a feeling she's gonna pop back up. Yeah. I have a feeling she's gonna be a problem. Other than that, though, like, this is interesting. Like I said, he's so hard to read. Caleb is, I wouldn't say he's an open book, but he's very expressive, right? Like, when he's angry, he's gonna let you know he's angry. Ari, on the other hand, you never really know, like, what he's thinking, what he's feeling. Because sometimes here's the thing. He isn't expressive, right? And they just said that in this episode. But there's also the fact that, sometimes he's dense. So sometimes it's hard to know whether he is masking, his emotions or hiding them, or whether he isn't getting it, which can make it a little complicated. But yeah, anyway, we are going to go ahead and end things here. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you next time.
What have you been doing all this time, huh? Last time I saw you, you had your head buried in her underwear drawer, creep.
Oh my god. Okay, that escalated quickly.